So, Brett, can you give me your name, your hometown, and major?
Yes, my name is Brett Williams. I'm a senior on the Wisconsin lacrosse team. I'm from Plymouth, Minnesota. I major in economics.
And what position do you play here?
I play defenseman.
Okay. So, what made you want to play lacrosse here?
Well, I wanted to, continue on with the sport that I loved most into college, as well as make some friends. It was a great way to meet people and, hone the athletic skills, compete at the top level, and I haven't regretted that decision once.
So, I understand you've been playing for a while now.
Yes, since I was 12.
And so, do most people who live in Plymouth start that early, or is it kind of that?
No, most people in Plymouth don't start that early. Most people probably start around 8th grade, so around age 14, maybe even 15. But I think out east they started a little bit earlier. But in Plymouth, Minnesota, they did, mostly around age 12 or 14.
So, does it get more and more intense as you transition into high school?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially from, the middle school levels weren't too much, but then JV was a little bit more intense, still not very intense, and varsity was higher level.
And how does that compare with the intensity of the team here?
Um, it's almost as intense as the team here. Here it's more amplified. The speed of the game is faster. There's harder hits, just faster in general. There's less mistakes. You gotta be on your toes. You gotta be precise. You gotta be thinking quickly. Things like that. Every level gets up a little bit faster. And this, just continuing that trend.
Did you find it to be a hard transition in terms of the speed of play? Or was it easy to catch on?
Maybe the first year might have been a little bit tough. Or the first game, it was tough. I got in there, had the jitters, was a little bit nervous. Then I just, relaxed, remembered, I've been doing this for years, and balled out.
So before a game like that, let's just say it's your first game in college, and it's a little bit different. I'm sure you have some pregame rituals or superstitions that you either had your whole life or developed since you've been here.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell me a little bit about those?
There's certain songs I like to listen to. One of those being the song "Work" by Gang Starr, and things like that. And I just like to get myself in a good mindset. I like to eat bananas before games. I'm a huge proponent on that. I always have been. 2 bananas 90 minutes before the game. There's nothing better. Obviously, pre-game calisthenics. I like to do dynamic stretches as opposed to static stretches. And yeah, just get in the zone, stay focused on lacrosse and what's right in front of me. It's basically that. It takes care of itself from there.
Can you tell me a little bit about the bananas and why?
The bananas? Well, my mom is always. I've been raised on bananas my entire life. Mom makes banana bread. Mom makes banana goulash, banana oatmeal, banana pancakes. I go on bananas, and so they've always been a pretty integral part of my diet. And them being so high in potassium, I figure that it's a good thing to eat pre-game.
Prevent muscle cramps?
Exactly. I've done that for a long time, though, so I kind of just stuck with it. It just became a habit.
And you said something about dynamics.
Dynamic stretches. I don't stand still and do a standard traditional looking quad stretch where, you might pull your foot back. I would be more likely to be walking and doing, little butt kicks, things like that, swinging my leg back and forth, jumping jacks. Not so much like that, but more mobile. You're not standing still.
You find that's a better way to get warm?
Before the game, yes, that's a better way to get warm.
Alright, well, that's good. Any, silly superstitions that you feel a little bit off if you don't do it before every game?
Sometimes I like to smell the mesh in my head. That one started a long time ago. There was a little prank done by one of my teammates, and ever since then we've had to check what our mesh smelled like. It was a dirty prank. It was a while ago. I don't want to talk about it.
So I want to talk a little bit about off the field traditions and
Yeah.
and how the team interacts with each other and what the traditions are off the field and how you guys have fun in your free time. So you want to talk about that? I know you guys go on bus trips.
The Lax team here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Every time we take a bus trip, there's usually a loudspeaker on it, and we like to tell, just different stories about our past to get to know each other better, put each other on the spot a little bit. It's especially fun for the freshmen and the rookies, break them out of their shells, and it's a good tradition. Very rock solid tradition. That's part of Wisconsin lacrosse. You find out a lot of things about each other. Some good things, some not so good things.
Can you tell me the story you told freshman year?
Which
I don't know.
you want to know the story I told freshman year?
Yeah.
In full detail?
In full detail.
As if we were on the bus right now?
As if we were on the bus.
I don't know if I'm comfortable saying this on camera.
Okay. Well, if you want to tell a different version or a different story, I think we'd love to have it.
Well, one time, this was the story I told freshman year, was that there was this girl lying in my bed next to me the morning after we had, met and come back to my place, and we were just lying in my bed, and this chick would not stop talking. It was like 8:30, 9:30 in the morning, and she was just going on, and my head was kind of hurting because we were up really late the night before, and I was just really tired, and this chick just kept talking, and so I just looked up, I saw my MJ poster, Michael Jordan, and I thought, MJ, what would you do if you were me right now? Just like try to get this girl out of my bed.
Right.
So then, I realized, hey, I'll just tell her my game is a couple hours earlier than it is, so I need to bring her home, get her out of my room, get back to bed before the game. So yeah, basically just went ahead, did that, got her out, gave her a ride home on my roommate's moped, and for some reason she wasn't wearing any underwear, so she was kind of, trying to pull the cocktail dress kind of low, even though her legs were like semi-wrapped around me. It got kind of weird, but hey, it worked out. We got her home.
Mm-hmm. And you talk to her anymore?
Every now and again, but things were just never the same after that morning.
So that's the story you told.
Yeah. They wanted to know Aranchi's story. The story I told had a few more details than that, but hey, that's the gist of it.
And how do you guys spend your free time?
Hanging out, cracking jokes. Obviously hollering at the girls, lacrosse toots, what's up? They really can't keep their eyes or their hands off us when we're chilling our lax pennies. And, every now and then we just like do our thing to relax. That might take on different activities. Frisbee, football, chilling in hot tubs, girls.
So I understand that there's a bunch of freshmen, a bunch of sophomores, a bunch of juniors, and seniors on the team.
Mm-hmm.
So do you notice ever like a social hierarchy and among the different grades at all, or?
Oh, completely. The seniors obviously provide the leadership. They're the ones that are most talkative. They're the ones, running things. Juniors are right next up on the list. Sophomores are still finding their place a little bit, coming out of their shells still. Freshmen, you can hardly get a word out unless there's one or two of them, But one or two of them will be loud and outgoing right away, but the rest of them, you got to do things like make them tell stories, and they get more comfortable amongst each other, and then they get more comfortable to the group. It's good, though. Seniors are the shit. Juniors are basically the shit. Freshmen get shit on. That kind of is how it goes.
And in terms of the talent, is there a balance, an uneven balance between the grades, or is it all about kind of random?
This year we had an extremely high influx of talent come in with the freshman class. A lot of them came from the coast, balled out hard, good kids. It can be pretty random. Usually the seniors carry the most talent, but this year the underclassmen just stepped up hard in general.
So has that been a little bit weird, the freshmen?
It's definitely different. Definitely different. I'm proud of them though. Good kids. Young little whippersnappers still in their high school shape, running around with their wands, doing their thing.
So you get along with them well?
Yeah.
Both on the field and off the field?
Yeah.
Is there any off-field drama that any ever?
I mean, Sometimes a guy will find out that another guy had commingled with his girlfriend before he had gotten with him. Different things like that. Random scenarios of that sort. Sometimes a guy will fall asleep and someone will be feeling like a dickhead and they'll do some weird shit to him. And, that never results in a good ending. No one wants to do that. No one wants to deal with that or the repercussions of that. Never been a fan of it. Besides that, guys get into little bickering arguments on the field. Off the field, people are pretty straight, for the most part. Unless the board proposes some ludicrous idea of how they want to run the team, which happens from time to time.
And how is your relationship with your coaches?
It's good. Could be better. We obviously have a lot of respect for each other, but we don't see eye to eye all the time, which is fine. We ball out on the field, get it done, and in the end of the day, that's what matters. That's what they want to see, whether or not we do it their way. Usually we do. Sometimes we don't. We like to try to find a middle ground and go from there.
Well, so you're halfway through the season though?
Yeah, right about halfway, just under halfway.
You're doing well, or?
Yeah, we only lost one. I believe we won 4. Killing it pretty hard. We could have won that game that we lost too, had certain events not taken place.
And so, when it comes to workload, how do you feel that? Because I know some people play, and they say that lacrosse may get in the way of their studies, and others say it keeps them on track and keeps them motivated and disciplined.
Definitely goes both ways. You gotta take into consideration that you're gonna have a practice, for hours on end for the next few days. So if you want to study for this test that's gonna be a few days from now, you better start now, as opposed to waiting till the last day. You're not gonna have all the hours of every day. On the other, side of that, it does limit the time, but it can help to budget that time because you know that you have another obligation you're gonna need to tend to. Like I said, it goes both ways.
Your coaches, go on.
In the end, I think it's beneficial.
Are your coaches pretty lenient about you if you have a test or?
They can be pretty. They can be pretty stubborn about it. They always say it's not an excuse to miss practice for a test the next day, which personally I think that academics come a little bit in front of athletics, but hey, team policies are team policies.
Like going on with that as well, what do they? You obviously have to make sacrifices during the season, and how do you tame your partying? When it comes to the season?
I mean, yeah, I guess you're gonna have to cut out from either athletics, academics, or party life. I'm not about to cut out from academics, and I'll try as much as I can not to cut out from athletics. So, only leaves one left, and that's the party life, and you gotta tame that lifestyle, so to speak, which also helps you to stay in better shape, though.
Right.
I mean, you're not gonna. Well, I mean, you could work extra hard, and then maybe you'll be able to keep up with everyone if you still are doing your normal partying, but partying would definitely affect that.
So, is there any in the fall is when you begin with fall ball?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any? That's when you meet all the freshmen for the first time.
Yeah.
Is there any initiation or anything you guys make them do? Any traditions or little tasks they have to complete to become part of the team?
We make it a 100% voluntary ordeal. If a kid wants to drink a warm 40 that just came fresh out of the oven, he's allowed to. Usually, this is completely non-orchestrated by any, club matters. It's not a mandatory event or anything like that, but there's been known to have weird things like that happen. Sometimes guys will just have to finish a keg, but it bonds them together. If, 15 guys are thrown into a room and they have to finish a keg, I mean, it's analogous to if guys are thrown into a corner fighting for a ball. No one wants to go into the corner to fight for the ball, but they have to because they're teammates. That's what teammates do for each other. So the teammates have to finish that keg together. It builds camaraderie. It gives them a challenge. Brings everybody together. It's a good old weird time. Yeah, it's always kept within. Safety is one of the main strongholds of that event.
So do they have fun? I'm sure they enjoy that.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody loves it in the end. No one's ever complained.
And so you see that after hanging out with them a bunch on the field and off the field over the past year, could you say that you've met some of your better friends from playing lacrosse?
Absolutely. I live with a few of my fellow lacrosse brethren. Very good guys. The sport has introduced me to a lot of great people. Yeah, definitely say that I've met a lot of people through lacrosse.
And so, what's your favorite part of away trips? Because I know you kind of sometimes probably have to sacrifice a weekend here and there.
Yeah.
But I hear you guys have some fun.
Yeah, definitely have fun. The game itself, I mean, you forget everything else that's going on in your entire life when you're playing the game, which is nice. It's good for stress. It's very fun to play. The away trips are also fun. The bus rides are real fun. We usually, a few of us will grab a case on the way back or something like that. Between a couple of us, a split, and the whole story thing happens. And yeah, it's just a good old bro out session on the bus rides there and back.